Hey there, songwriters. It's your fearless leader, Sarah here. I am doing this video just to show you guys a little bit more about that sheet that I gave you that's called C major chords and or C major scale and chords, and also introduce the C minor scale and the chords with that, since the song that we're doing is actually in C minor, so that any of you who have access to a keyboard like this at home would be able to find where these chords are. I figured this would be really helpful for you to prop this up near a piano, or even just to sort of have an idea of what's going on with the chords in this song if you're unfamiliar with chords. So I'm going to start by showing you C major scale, because that's the first part of what's on your page. So this note, if you look on a keyboard, if you're not familiar with it at all, you'll notice that we have sets of 3 and 2 black keys. That pattern repeats all the way up and down the keyboard. So if you're looking at a set of 2, and this is right in the middle of the keyboard, so this is actually called middle C. Okay, so if you have a set of 2 and you look to that note that's just to the left, that is a C. Okay, and then on either side of that, it just goes in alphabetical order. So C is the third letter of the alphabet. So if we go back to 2, that is an A. All right, and so walking up from A, B, C, C, D, E, F, F, G, A. This is hard to do while I'm talking and filming at the same time. But anyway, so in order to do a C major scale, if you look at the top of that C major scale and chords page, you'll see that C major is the notes from C up the musical alphabet until you get to C again. Okay, so it actually encompasses that octave right there. And C major is one of the first keys that anybody learns because it doesn't have any sharps or flats in it. In other words, it doesn't use any of the black keys, and you can find all of the notes that you need with the white keys. So we're going to start with that. Okay, so here is a C major scale, and you're going to see me play all of the white keys in between, and I'll say the notes as I go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So that's exactly what's written up at the top of that page. And if you look down a little bit further on the page, you'll see where I have the chords harmonized. Okay, that's another word for that is diatonic chords, because those are chords that use the notes of the C major scale, and they don't use any other black keys. They don't use anything except those notes that I just played. Now, how do we find those chords? It's very, very simple. We're just going to do every other white key. Okay, so if we start with that C, remember we've got the set of 2, and we start with that C, we can build a C major chord by going every other key. Okay, so that is a C major chord, C, E, G, and you can find that on your page right in the middle of the page where it says C major. And then if I move my fingers, if I keep them every other, so in other words, 1, 3, and 5, and conveniently these notes are actually called the root, or the name of the chord, the third, and the fifth. Those are the actual names. It's the third and the fifth. And if you were playing on piano, you would do it with your thumb, your root, your third finger, and your fifth finger. Pretty cool, right? Now, if I just continue up the scale, if I go from here and move over 1, I get to that D minor chord, and then I get to E minor chord, and then F major, G major, A minor, and B diminished. And then if I go one more, that's another C major chord, because I'm back to my next set of 2 with C. So that's C major. Now, if you look at the bottom of the page where there's some common chord progressions, you can start to figure out what those Roman numerals stand for, because each one of those Roman numerals stands for a number. Okay, and those are listed up toward the top of the page. And that number tells you which chord within the scale it's going to be. And whether it's lowercase or uppercase is whether it's going to be a major chord or a minor chord, which is also outlined in the middle of that sheet. So in other words, if we have, I'm going to use my pedal for a little bit of sustain here, so it keeps on ringing out even when I let go. So if we have like that C major, F, G major chord progression, and I'm going to do these all in root position, so you'll see my thumb landing on the name of that note. So just to review, we've got C, D, E, F, G. Well, F is here and G is here. So I'm going to be moving my hand up to create those chords. So we've got C, and now I'm going to move up to F, and now up to G, and then back down to C. So that would be a 1, 4, 5, 1 chord progression. Okay, and I think that's a good stopping point there. I'll come back in just a moment with a C minor explanation, but that gets you started on C major.